Just a general answer here that there was a lot of workload and so forth. But what reason was given specifically by the CIA person responsible for putting that name on the watch list as to the failure to do so?
We're not putting the name on the watch list. Our judgment is in talking to everybody working at the time that there were uneven standards, poor training, and we didn't give
that specific failure? All those reasons for that specific
failure? Yes, sir. We did not. Everybody, the people involved, or people who have access, who we've talked to, acknowledge that there were uneven practices, bad training, and a lack of redundancy. The fact that they were swamped does not mitigate the fact that we didn't overcome that with either redundancy, a separate unit, or better training.
Have you identified?
I read from the Office of the Inspector General report, which was publicly released in June 2006. The chapter in which I will read from is Chapter 3, Section F, Inadequate Procedures for Documenting Receipt of CIA Information. The Office of the Inspector General report found that the FBI lacked consistent policies or procedures for the receipt and documentation of intelligence information received from the CIA. In addition, structural impediments within the FBI undetermined the appropriate documentation of information received from the CIA. As detailed, the information concerning the surveillance of suspected al-Qaeda operatives at the Malaysia meetings, including Khalid al-Mihdhar, was verbally conveyed in January of 2000 by a CIA officer to two FBI employees who were working in the FBI Strategic Information Operations Center. But this important information was not documented in any retrievable form at the FBI. The FBI was able to provide only 3 documents regarding the briefing on this information. First, one FBI email message was recovered through a painstaking review of messages on an FBI server that the FBI searched in connection with a request from the JICI. Although this written record survived from that time, no analyst or agent would have had access to the information, learned of its existence, or been able to conduct the type of search that led to the discovery of this document. Second, information regarding the briefing was also located in one of the FBI director's daily briefing documents prepared in response to the Millennium threats. These briefing documents, however, were not electronically archived in a searchable database that analysts or agents in the field could access. Third, a brief handwritten note about the information he received from the CIA was contained in the personal daily calendar of one of the FBI employees briefed by the CIA officer at the Strategic Information Operations Center. We at the Office of the Inspector General found that there was no clear procedures for documenting intelligence communicated by the CIA to the FBI in an informal manner, such as the verbal briefings on Khalid al-Mihdhar in the Strategic Integration Operations Center. Although the SIOC have been activated during the millennium for the express purpose of handling threat information from various sources, FBI personnel assigned to the Strategic Information Operations Center, also known as the SIOC, during this period told us that there was no procedures for the receipt and handling of interagency information communicated informally unless it related to an ongoing FBI investigation. Although one eyewitness suggested that some type of log might have existed to record incoming physical information, such as documents, the FBI found no such log. Moreover, FBI witnesses told us that the log would not have been used to document verbal briefings. Therefore, any documentation of information received informally would have been at the discretion of the recipient. We are not suggesting that every informal communication from the CIA to the FBI should be documented. We also recognize it is difficult to know the significance of any individual piece of information when it is received. Yet, we believe that the FBI should attempt to establish criteria or guidance for determining when information from informal briefings should be documented. and how it should be documented. The information received in the SIOC on Khalid al-Mihdhar was recorded only in a briefing provided to the director and executive staff, which is not available to others throughout the FBI. Clearly, the authors of the director's daily briefing believed that there was some import to this information. Because the Mihdhar information was never documented in any accessible format, only those individuals personally informed about the CIA's information on the Malaysia meetings, or those present for the director's briefings, were made aware of the Khalid al-Mihdhar information. In effect, it was lost to everyone else because no analysts or field agents would be able to search for or locate this information. An effective analytical program requires that the analysts have access to all available information, and that pertinent information is not contained solely in the personal memories of selected individuals. This was particularly significant because the information on Khalid al-Mihdhar initially did not appear to be important, but it subsequently became very significant. In the summer of 2001, FBI personnel eventually recognized the significance of the Malaysia meetings. At this time, the email and the information from the director's briefing in January of 2000 were not available to the FBI personnel. Without mechanisms to maintain information in which the significance is not immediately apparent, the FBI will not be able to fully connect and analyze disparate pieces of information for their significance. In addition, even if the agents who received the information in the SIOC had wanted to document it in a form that was available throughout the FBI lacks any information technology system capable of adequately handling this type of information. As discussed previously, the FBI's primary electronic information storage system is the Automated Case Support System, also known as ACS. ACS is a case management system designed to capture information related to specific investigations and not for this type of general intelligence information. There was no FBI system that would allow this type of information to have been maintained so that it would be available for directed searches or other subsequent data mining. It is also important to note that ACS is not approved for storage of information classified above the secret level. It is not approved for storage of any sensitive compartmented information. Thus, it is not available for storage of the majority of the relevant intelligence community information, including the information on Nawaf, al-Hazmi, and Khalid al-Mihdhar. In the absence of effective methods for recording and retrieving information obtained from other intelligence agencies, the benefits of increased information sharing among the agencies will remain of limited use. Based on the system in effect during this period, the value of the information was minimal unless the information was relayed to an individual who could immediately use the information or the information related to an ongoing FBI investigation. When, as here, subsequent additional information increases the significance of the prior information, the absence of an effective information retrieval system effectively precludes any meaningful effort by the FBI to analyze the disparate pieces of information over time. In sum, despite the fact that some personnel at the FBI were aware in January 2000 that Khalid al-Mihdhar was possibly linked to al-Qaeda operations and traveled to Malaysia to meet with other suspected al-Qaeda operatives, this information was unavailable for further analysis or use once the SIOC closed down in late January or early February of 2000. Because no one was assigned to document, follow up, or track the information on Khalid al-Mihdhar, the FBI's opportunity to discover Khalid al-Mihdhar's valid U.S. visa during this period and therefore try to locate him was lost.